Hey everyone, New England Gardening here. Today's Tuesday, November 27th, and it's 37 degrees with, it's raining right now, but on and off. It I guess must be turning into snow at higher elevations, but the storm's farther out, or far enough out to see that we're just on the edge. You're really not going to get anything, not even a dusting, it looks like. But I ran out the other day. I didn't videotape because I was actually doing it at night when we had that high wind and low temperatures. Got the 6x8 blue tarps, and they seem to be popular because I grabbed everything that was left. I think I had 6 tarps, and I think I have one I haven't used yet. But these are the unknowns, and well, couple of them, the LSU Purple, Brunswick, Peter's Honey, and Italian Golden Honey, I think this one here. But in the past I've brought these into the cellar, which was a pain because they're pretty large pots here. But I did discover that these actually have grown through the pots and into the soil. I tried to move this one here and discovered it was actually in the ground, and also the larger ones. But so this is the really, first time covering these, and I'm going to let these things ride it out during the winter and see what happens. If they make it, they make it. But I haven't even put any insulation in. I didn't put any leaves or anything. And from my understanding is it's a good idea to have some type of ventilation out of the top without letting the moisture in too, which people usually do by putting a bucket on the top. But I've got that remote temperature sensor, and I might try to hang one in one of these bags during a nice bright day to see how warm it does get inside the tarp. But I don't think it's going to cook these unless we get near the springtime, and hopefully at that particular time I'll be in the clear. But limited experience here with protecting them in the winter. And I was just thinking, I have some extras of a couple of varieties. I just might try putting them in the ground. I see some people with some success in New Jersey and in New York. It depends. It depends on the location. If it's up against a nice wall and there's a lot of rock or brick in the area to absorb heat too. These two here had no protection, still seem to have the green buds on here. But again, it's the wind. The tarps are pretty much not for, unless you put a little heating source in there, like a bulb or something like that, it's going to be as cold as the outside. It's to cut down on the wind chill, and the wind chill factor drying out the figs. So let's go take a look at the Agrone that I have. I actually put a bucket on that one. So I've got one more unknown here I haven't even pruned. I'd have to prune it back some. But the Negrone, I did some pruning, and I put the bucket on top. So this actually, I really had to tie it up and bring the branches all together to form like a point, as you can see in there. And this way here it can still breathe. And what I was thinking about, I put this one on the north side of the lean-to here, so it'd be more of a consistent temperature where it's not going to heat up during the day and then cool down at night. It's just going to stay a little consistent temperature during the winter. And I did end up with 2 air layers from this tree, so I'd hate to lose it because this has really got a nice size caliper or diameter to the trunk. This is probably like a 5-year-old tree. I think I'll start experimenting, putting some of these in the ground and see what happens. Put them up against a fence, south-facing, and still I'll protect it. But see what size tree I can get from having one in the ground here in New England. So those are those orange buckets you can get, and again, an 8x10 tarp seemed to work out is a good size. And again, it must be popular because they were out of them after I picked up the remaining 6 or 7 that were there. One thing I did do is I had a piece of that pipe insulation that has the white outside coating with the fiberglass liner that you wrap around your pipes if you've got like forced hot water. And I put that around the trunk. Let me go get that piece, I'll show you. Yeah, so this is what I put around the trunk on the Negroni. Now again, you know, it's not going to keep the tree warm. The tree outside is going to be as cold as the outside temperatures. And the tree is not generating any heat, you know, like people do with layers of clothing on, warm-blooded people. It's just a dormant tree. But this is to cut down on wind chill. So I had it, and can't hurt. Or, you know, it can, experimenting. I was wondering if to keep this, the bottom part from touching the bottom of the pot, but I've got pieces of bark there that sort of keep it elevated, because I was wondering if this absorbs moisture. I end up with this wet, like sponge material around the bottom of the trunk all winter long, and that might end up killing it. But I'll periodically inspect it to see if there's any moisture getting in there, or if there's a mouse living in there over the winter. That's always a good possibility too. You've got it all wrapped up, you're thinking everything's going great, and then you open it up in the springtime to find out that a mouse has gnawed all the bark or all the buds off of your tree. So I'll keep an eye on it. But for the most part, this will be out for the winter. Could change. I could decide that I want to bring this in the greenhouse at some point, maybe. Don't want to risk losing such an old tree. But anyways, this is New England gardening, and everything's turning shades of gray here in New England. Thanks for watching. I wonder why the Pilgrims were so depressed.